Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're taking a look at Matic. And just before we do, if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I've been trading for over 15 years. My goal is to help you become a better, more effective trader. I have a trading community, link in the description below. Check that out in your own time. I share every single trade that I take with my members, and we're all learning and growing together financially. It's a beautiful, beautiful situation. Everything considered. In fact, I'm making this video because we just took profits on Matic, and I want to make sure we understand roughly what we're going to be at for profit 2 and target 3, if of course that comes to fruition. I think it will, because Matic is definitely on fire. So let's take a look at Bitcoin first to get a baseline on the market so you understand a little bit more about what's going on. Because Bitcoin obviously controls the market, but more importantly, we can see we have this descending wedge pattern. It's typically a breakout to the upside. This is a bullish pattern because what happens is the price continues up, gets rejected out, comes down, and it eventually breaks out. Now it could come down again and break out, bounce off 55,000, could bounce off 58. 60 might be the bottom. It's hard to say specifically, but today when it was tested on the shorter time frame, you can see that 58,000 effectively held as a support level. Okay, but keep this in mind too. This pattern is holding true. We also got the 4-hour, basically 50-day simple moving average on the 4-hour chart, holding the price down as well, and that does work as a pretty strong resistance level until it becomes more so a support. Obviously, it's been holding the price down even more so. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of where we're at with Bitcoin for the moment. Now on to Matic. So it's at 214. It was at 210 5 minutes ago. It's hard to say specifically how much further it's going to continue, but let's go ahead and take a closer look. Now we have this ascending wedge pattern that broke to the upside. I called it out about 3 days ago. That's why I sent out the signal, because I know that Matic testing that resistance level 3 days in a row, it's going to break, right? Eventually it just has to happen, because Matic has a tendency of going on significant runs, right? It does very, very well. As we can see in the past, it went from what, 84 cents to about 250 almost in what, a week, maybe a week and a half. So what's going to stop it from breaking this most recent 1-day close high and not continue to keep going, moving forward, right? It's going to probably keep going. That's my guess. That's my speculation. That's why we have profit targets set here at just below, I believe, this resistance level, and of course further beyond, because I do think this is going to continue upwards. Somebody asked me recently, is Matic likely to hit $4? I think so, absolutely, because Matic has same qualities as ADAs and Cardano's, and a lot of the other ones that, or ADA and Cardano's the same. Sorry, Solana, a handful of ones that are broke their all-time high, and they just keep going, right? They just keep on making new highs. Matic will do that once it breaks its all-time high. There's no doubt in my mind. Now, how soon it'll do that, it's hard to say. Let's go ahead and take a look and find out. So taking a look here at the 1-day chart, we're looking at RSI up over 70. That's awesome. I actually love to see that, because oftentimes RSI works as a resistance level, right? So a lot of times when it breaks that resistance, this will likely continue to work as a support level. It happens all the time. So there's a strong chance if we get a continuation to the upside and the price consolidates, it'll stay above 70. Once it taps 70 again and bounces back up, that becomes a support, and the price will continue to increase. That happens quite frequently, so we could expect to see that soon. We're up above both moving averages. That's kind of history. We've known that for a while. And just really quick, same here as well. And this is one thing you really like to see when the ascending wedge pattern has the same qualities as the 50-day simple moving average. In other words, we could probably just extend this out and it'll just keep going, right? That's essentially what's happening here. So the 50-day simple moving average on the 4-hour chart is definitely letting us know that's working as a support. It could intersect with the price action soon, just based on how high it's going right now. But let's go ahead and kind of see where we're at. So let's go ahead and pull up the Fibonacci and see what's going on. Now, I'm not going to pull it up with this lowest point here, because that was just a kind of a random low point, and that isn't all that valid. Oftentimes you can kind of overlook that when it's just a quick little candlestick. But generally speaking, we're looking at the most recent time here. We're looking at the price up here. We've got a resistance, previous resistance, now support at about 194. So the price does retrace. We'll see 194 work as a strong support. I've noticed that 0.786 on the Fibonacci does work as a very strong support level in bullish markets. So I'd say about, 208 would be a worst case scenario for the price to consolidate. That's my speculation. So let's go ahead and remove this previous one here. We no longer need this. So all in all, that's kind of what we're looking at here for the moment, right? So we got support at 194 and support at 207. Okay, so let's take a look at the 1-hour chart, kind of see what's going on here. I always look at the Ichimoku cloud. It's obviously going to be above, but I like to see in these bullish trends how it's responding to the cloud. In other words, this cloud is basically telling us it's working as a support level. So there's a good chance that we get this price to kind of consolidate and go sideways. Once the cloud is up here, it'll keep driving the price upwards further. It's a very common characteristic in these type of markets. So I'd speculate that we're going to see that happen eventually. Let's go ahead and draw this resistance level here as well. And another thing we want to take a look at is see how much gas we have left in the tank. We're at a 5 on TD sequential. So basically when you see a 9, it's supposed to reset. And if you can see here, there's a 9 right there. It went sideways for just enough time, 4 candlesticks over, and essentially reset itself. So what we're looking at here, if we see a continuation of the upside, we have a possibility of 4 more hours before it reaches that state of exhaustion. It hits that standard deviation essentially, and then the price will come back down. We can look at that standard deviation on the 15-minute chart within the actual cloud, but what I like to look at is the volume weighted average price instead. So let's look at the VWAP here on the 15 and kind of see what's going on. And then we'll go ahead and summarize with a prediction here. So taking a look at the EMA and VWAP on the 15-minute chart. First of all, we can see the price is well above the volume weighted average price, right? And just so you know, kind of preface here, I tell this to my community members all the time, of course, because it's more of a day trading tool, but the volume weighted average price helps us understand what's happening with the price. In other words, it works as a support and resistance level. Right now, the price being above is obviously a support. And it works in essentially ways of the fact that anytime it tries to come below, it gets rejected and keeps going upwards. That being said, though, the volume weighted average price takes the volume in the last 24 hours and expresses it as a price. Therefore, right now, the price is much higher than the current volume. In other words, we're at about 10 to 12% higher than the relative volume in the last 24-hour period. That deviation is too high. And if we can see here, you'll see we're well above that standard deviation lines, and it's going to have to start coming back down soon. So yes, TD sequential is telling us we have 4 hours left of bullish momentum, but if this continues to push too hard, too much, then that's going to correct itself and it's going to come back down. So this standard deviation line should probably correct the price somewhere closer to about 207, 208. So we should expect to see the price consolidate somewhere around 208, and I would say eventually leg up to break 218, but it has to relax and calm down a little further. And now keep in mind, Matic has a tendency of going on tears, and it can definitely keep going. There's no doubt about that, right? So there's no guarantees it's going to go sideways, but I'd like to see it go sideways so we can have some gas left in the tank to be able to come up here and break this high here about 244. Okay, so we look at that again. It's not the all-time high, but it's the high on which the one-day candlestick closed and couldn't close above, right? So it got stopped out at 244. Well, we're at 218 right now, or 213, but 218 is the high here recently. So I think there's a great chance we're going to be able to continue to progress upwards. We just want to be able to see sideways action first before it continues, because we're definitely getting a bit on the overextended side. So we look at this here. TD sequential is telling us we're right at a 9 right now. So we've basically had 9 days of bullish momentum from Matic, which is all well and good, but it's almost too good, right? We're going to be pushing ourselves into overtime. We don't have that state of correction. And again, good analogy is to look at Bitcoin here, right? You see this? It comes up here, goes to a 9, resets, and just comes right back up to a 9 again. See, it had that chance to be able to consolidate and come up again to get that second leg up. But if it doesn't have a chance to consolidate, it's going to do one of these here, and it's going to have to correct itself and come back down before it legs up again. Again, there's a lot of different things you can kind of look at and speculate, but generally speaking, big picture here, 244 is absolutely doable for Matic. How soon will that happen? I would say probably within the next 2 to 4 weeks. And the reason why I say 2 to 4 weeks is based on the simple fact that if we don't have a state of consolidation, yes, it'll come up there, but it'll probably get rejected and stop back out. And if you know anything about crypto or just trading in general, the harder something comes up, the harder it comes down, right? So if we want this to survive and continue, we need to see it 24 to 40 hours of consolidation. That's all we need. And then another leg up. And it'll have enough opportunity to be able to get that reset in, get that consolidation, allow the bears to take their profits and the bulls to jump in and drive the price up even higher. So anyways, I would say end of November, easy 244. I would even speculate in the fact that Matic will break its all-time high by that point, and we're going to start seeing new all-time highs by the end of November. So we can give thanks in Thanksgiving and celebrate the price action being in new all-time high territory, and then at that point, it's going to be, kind of I don't know, whatever analogy you want to put in here. It's going to be excellent because once you break all-time highs, and then it's open season to do whatever you want. And Bitcoin has proven every 4 years, in the quarter of the 4-year cycle, that we're going to see a significant increase in November and December. So we're poised perfectly for that, especially with Matic being such good fundamentals. Again, do your research on that, but you'll see quickly that they are really, really good currency. And I only invest in coins that have good, strong fundamentals, and this is definitely part of my HODL bag, if that makes any sense. All right, all. I hope you found benefit here. If so, like and subscribe. Consider joining my Patreon community, of course, where we actually learn and grow together. A really awesome experience. I think everyone pretty much is saying it's 5 stars at this point. But more importantly, I share every single trade that I take with my members, and it's essentially a hybrid signal group as well. And it's really cool. We got automated signal bots. We've got pretty much every dang thing you need to become a better trader. So anyways, you need a leg up, consider joining. If not, that's okay too. Thank you so much for your time here today. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.